I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Mr. Adams, roll call.
Ms. Petrie.
Here.
Ms. Terry.
Here.
Mr. Ray.
Here.
Mrs. Frola.
Here.
Mr. Hofer.
Here.
Please stand for the roll, for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to recognize our superintendent.
All right, so we've got a lot of people here to recognize today, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my superintendent's report at the beginning, so anybody who needs to leave then, they can leave after we're done. So the first thing we're going to start off with, Mrs. Warner, if you'd like to do, I never talked this loud before at a board meeting. Student of the month.
Thank you. My name is Michelle Warner, and I'm the principal of high school and junior high. And every month, we recognize a student as student of the month, one in the junior high and one in the high school. So today, I'm going to ask our junior high students to come up and greet me in a stage of Cordero. And this will be hung in the building. I'll read what it says. This is your nomination. Anastasia Cordero. Anastasia is one of the happiest junior high students in the school. She's a friendly student with a bubbly personality. She works hard in all of her classes and has the grades to show it. Anastasia looks out for others, and she's trained as a peer mediator with Mrs. Moss. She's always ready to learn. She is 110% on everything she does. Also, she has such a positive outlook about learning. Anastasia has a smile on her face and never complains when it's time to work. Her kindness and leadership towards her peers are amazing. She was nominated by Mrs. Spartan, Mrs. Calloway, and Mrs. Moss. I don't believe Kendall Kreitzer is here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kendall is our high school student of the month. Kendall's statement will also be coming to school. Her award says Kendall is sweet and kind. When asked to do something, she gets it done. Kendall's not afraid to ask for help. She plays basketball and softball for Springfield High School. Kendall was a role model for the Spartan standard of being kind. And she was nominated by Mrs. Brown. Congratulations.
So this year, we had quite a few great people retire. That's going to be missed terribly. So we've got them a bell. Is that what that is? It's a bell. And so if you're here, please come up to receive it. First is Ernie Cole. District for 27 years. Are we surprised about why?
We were very surprised.
Okay. And retired as a high school band director, and he remained in this position until his retirement. So congratulations. You were the next person who retired, Deborah Cutright. Is Deborah here? Deborah was with the district for 25 years. She was hired as a 2-hour cafe worker in 1998-99, and in 2000-2001 was added as an educational assistant doing sub-hauling. Worked in many capacities, both in the cafeteria and as an EA, and anything that we needed. Accepted a 5 and a 2-hour cafe position, which transferred into a 7-hour. So you started off in 2 hours back in 1998. In 2015, 7 hours, and you worked until you retired there this year. So thank you for everything that you've done. Next She was back in 1985 hired as a special ed teacher at Young. Then in 86 moved to Milroy. Then in 87 moved to Roosevelt. Then in 95 accepted a fourth grade position at Roosevelt. And then 2001 moved to Young as a fourth grade teacher. 2008 moved to Schwab as a fourth grade teacher. 2011 moved to fifth grade. And then finally in 2022-23 she moved to the high school to teach theater and skills building. And she remained in her position until she retired. So very good. And then in 2019, you became cafeteria manager. That's a heck of a responsibility. And you remained in this position until your retirement this year. Thank you. Lisa Smith. Lisa was with the district for 11 years. She was hired as a high school art teacher for pottery. And she remained in this position until she retired this year. So, thank you, Lisa. Lisa Stout. Okay, so Lisa was with the district for 37 years. In 1986, she was hired as a 50% teacher, and then as a 100% teacher in January. 50% teacher, half-time. And then 100% in January of 1987. In 1987, she moved to Young Elementary, where she also served as high school coach in girls basketball and volleyball. And in 2000, she moved to Schropp to teach 6th grade. In 2004, she moved to Young to teach 1st grade. In 2006, she moved to 2nd grade. And then she ended up at Spring Hill, and she was there until she retired this year. So that was Lisa. Carol Tolson was with the district for 26 years. I'm assuming you said down because the rest down here is up there. In 1997, she was hired as a high school tutor, and then in 2001, she became a full-time special ed teaching position at Schwab. And she remained in that position until she retired for this year. That was Carol. And then last is Lisa Martin. Lisa Martin was with the district for 34 years. She was also hired as a 50% kindergarten teacher at Milroy. She moved to Lakemore Elementary as 100% in 1991. Then she moved to Schrock in 92. Then she moved to 5th grade. Then she moved to 6th grade. And then in 2000, she accepted principal at Young Elementary. And then in 2003, she accepted principal at Schrock, and she remained in her position until retirement of this year. So that's Lisa. The one thing that I am just totally amazed with is how many years everybody has stayed in Springfield. So that just says a testament to this district. So I want to thank all of them for their service. Next, Andrea Novicki. Where are you, Andrea? Would you please stand? I know you don't like to do this. We talked about this. So Andrea was given an unbelievable, fantastic honor. Andrea was named District 10 Teacher of the Year for 2024. So these are of all the different school districts that Carol was competing with. Not Carol, I'm sorry, Andrea, Carol Tolson in my mind, was competing with. And out of all the schools, she was selected. And what this means is now, out of 11, there's 11 districts in Ohio. She is one of 11 teachers that is running for Ohio Teacher of the Year for 2024. Andrea, this is an amazing, amazing feat, and we are so proud of you. And I know the state was, you know, they recognized you as an exceptional educator, and you're at the top of the list. So I just thank you, and good luck to you. We're going to keep our fingers crossed, and anything that you need from any of us, please let us know. So again, Andrea, congratulations. You want to say anything about Andrea real quick?
Oh, just that I'm proud of her. And I was very pleased to be able to write in support of her. So, as her former principal. So.
And I think you said that, thank goodness you went to that one.
Yes, thank goodness I went to a school improvement conference in Columbus and heard her. Were you at, where were you teaching that?
I was at Copley.
Copley, yeah, and heard her speak about a program at Copley, and Copley wasn't going to have an opening for her, I don't believe, or they hadn't committed. And I thought, people who detain are lost, so we were able to hire her, and I'm very happy for you, because you deserve it.
Thank you so much. Next.
Anyone else want to?
I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
It's always interesting walking by your room and seeing what sci-fi you've dreamed up for the kids. Growing up in the 70s, you know, we were still Apollo moon missions, you know, so you've advanced so far in that. Thank you for bringing that kind of technology to our district. It's a great reflection. Thank you very much.
Next, a baseball team. Would you come up to the podium, please? All right, so this is our AU14 team with Chad as the coach. And they did some amazing work with one of our fields, which we're going to have some pictures. If we could. Okay, you know what? I'm going to turn off the roads and see the pictures. Okay, so this is what the field looked like first. You see the boys probably got a lot of splinters on their butts when they got up. And then I'm going to let you talk in a few minutes about the nations, but it came out to look like this. Is that the only picture you put in? Look at the backstop, nice no sun. Oh my goodness, nice benches, no more splinters in the butts, so that's a good thing. So this was truly amazing. So Chad, would you please share a little bit about how you got this done?
Sure, yeah, thanks, Shelley. So first off, I didn't know you were all coming out to see the baseball team tonight, but thank you. So my guess is most of you know these hooligans up here. So we, three of us, Dave, Paul, and I, we've been coaching this team for 7 or 8 years, I think it is now. Glenn joined us this year, and before we get into the dugouts, second tournament game tomorrow night, so since you're all here, you can probably come out to Waterloo and watch us if you wanted to, but no, in all seriousness, those dugouts, as you can see by the before pictures, were pretty rough. I know 3 of these guys grew up here and played here, and they said they lived like that for years since they played, so you can imagine the end of the benches were broke and splintered. The one dugout specifically, you get 10 minutes of rain and it was a mud pit. So their kids are putting their shoes on and off, walking through mud, dragging balls through the mud, gloves fall in the mud. It was just, it's a mess. It's not fun for anybody. So we've been talking about it for a couple of years, and finally last year we put full force effort into it. We did a adult beverage wagon fundraiser. Some people don't like hearing the other word, so we did that last year. We sold a lot of tickets at a football game during tailgate. We raised $3,400 from that alone to put towards these dugouts. Some other people, some companies I want to recognize that helped us out. Mac Concrete donated all the concrete for both cement pads for the dugouts. Parent Concrete donated the labor to pour those pads. Uncle Tito's has sponsored us for the last 4 years. They put a little bit extra this year towards the dugouts. Pence Brothers donated the metal roofing that we installed. Kurtz Brothers, which nobody knows that name, Earth and Wood on Arlington. Kurtz is their parent company. They donated 12 yards of topsoil for us to kind of fill in around it and backfill around the dugouts. And then Lepo Rents, which from help from the Hannah family, they donated a skid loader to help us move all that 12 yards of dirt around. And finally, these coaches, the parents, the kids, we showed up and actually built these dugouts by ourselves. And that was fun. I think one day we had at least, 6 or 7 of the players there. They quickly found out they want to stay in school and don't want to become contractors carrying 12-foot 2x10s and stuff like that. So I think they realized how hard of work that is sometimes. But I think just by rough estimates, I think I figured it up between $8,000 and $9,000 between our fundraiser and the donations that we were able to put into those. And now, I guess, we already built them, but we are donating those to the school so future teams and kids can have that dugout and that experience for them. But it's a much needed improvement. Just the cement pads alone, if we could have probably just done that and get them out of the mud and that, but we were able to put a nice roof on it. One of the other things was the old fence was only about this high. So standing there watching the game, we had a parent hit in the face with the ball that came over the fence. It wasn't safe. But the entire front of the dugout is now fenced. So when you leave tonight, you can take a look as you guys drive out. So that's all we had. Just want to thank anybody. I know some of you up here bought raffle tickets at the football game, and I know some of you guys out here did as well. So we thank you guys for that. And
Well, thank you so much. I mean, that's great job, guys, for building it. Glad you want to stay in school, so kudos to that. And I thank you for all your hard work, and thank you for coming out today for us to be able to celebrate you.
yep, thank you.
And good luck
I saw Mr. Young walk in. Mr. Young? So this is Mr. Young, a trustee from Springfield. Way back in 2013, the board that was here signed a resolution to build a walking bike path behind the high school, where the south parking lot is. And we had the opportunity to walk it this month, June 5th, to see where it's going to go, and I think everything's falling into place now. So Mr. Young is just going to talk a little bit about what is going on, and we've got the picture of where it is going to be.
Yeah, I was basically coming to sort of give you a report. We did have an agreement quite some time ago. I didn't want her to tell you how long ago. I was just going to say that my hair was a different color. When we first had that agreement. At any rate, the trustees have set aside money and are going to go ahead with construction within the next 30 days. Essentially, it will go from the southwestern point of the parking lot that is at the high school. So the furthest south and to the west there would be the entry to the walking trail. We would put signage there to indicate that it is a piece of the Spartan Trail. And there would be foliage there to prohibit vehicle traffic. Of course, those devices are keyed, and the board and your maintenance department and administrators will have a key to it if you need, for security reasons or maintenance, to be able to have access to a vehicle At this point, we're looking very carefully at how we then enter the very end of Seneca, and hopefully there's enough room behind your barn to be able to do that. At any rate, we're excited about adding that as a piece to the Spartan Trail. I will tell you that you would be able then to leave the parking lot and go as far as all the way north to Waterworks Park and to the end of that trail to the Kenny Ray Boulevard. That's how far we've been able to get it to the north. Those of you who are familiar with the trail that goes along the north side of Springfield Lake, this spring we submitted an application for monies from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources to be able to extend the trail that is along the north side of the lake all the way east along Canfield Road, and then it will come into the area on the east side of Springfield Lake, which was property that we obtained through the generous cooperation of the Orndorff family. Part of the condition of obtaining that property for the township was that that property remain a wildlife area, so that we wouldn't be constructing anything on it, but we want to try to give people access to that. So I'm very hopeful that we'll get approval of the grant, which should happen sometime yet this year, and then start construction to bring the trail all the way to the east from the lakefront. So that's my report. I'm excited about it, and to get started with it this summer.
And I didn't realize that there was a trolley, when it goes all the way down, there was a trolley line
Yes.
back in the day, and it's going to go into the trolley line, so that was pretty impressive. And we actually found back there from the old high school, 1950, there was an owl that was on the high school that said wisdom, and we found it, and we're going to have that embedded along the trail to recognize the old high school.
So, you know, one of the enjoyment of a trail is to have a destination, and so we hope to post signage to say, come and visit the Owl of Wisdom.
So we're excited about that. So, and another positive that we looked at is that a lot of our kids who walk up Sanitarium will now be able to cut through the path to come to school, so they won't be on the main road.
I might add one other thing, and I think that this is something that Dustin has been involved in, is there was a grant that was obtained through cooperation with the Village of Lakemore to study safe routes to school.
Yes, I remember that.
And this certainly will be one route that would be usable, and hopefully the result of that safe routes to school would be something that's been talked about for a long time, and that is sidewalks up Sanitarium Road. But I think it's next month that we meet with the grant for, yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And we're really excited to get this started.
How soon will you start on it, Dean?
Should be within 30 days.
Good. Is that going to be gravel like?
It's going to be, it'll have a surface more like the area that's going through Waterworks Park at this point.
That's good.
Okay.
All right,
Very good.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you. A couple notes. Right now, we have about 5 or 6 students along with Mrs. Weekland. They are doing a tour of the national parks through the school. I think we will have them come in July to share their experience of what some of the pictures look really. They went sliding. I didn't know we had that much sand. I don't know where that desert was. They went sandboarding. That was the last pictures that I saw. The Sparkles, our inclusive cheer team, we had sent an audition tape to Capitol Conference for next year. Schools from all over Ohio send audition tapes to those, and they got accepted.
Great.
So we will be, I'll get more details at the time, it will be November 13th, I don't know exactly at what time, but they're giving us a stipend to take a bus down there, and they'll have 15 minutes of performing. They only allow like 10 performances, so out of all of Ohio. And the letter I had gotten back from the Capitol Conference was that they would feel very honored. They've never had an inclusive program before, so they're very honored to have that.
That's good.
Awesome.
That's good.
All right, and then finally, my last thing, I know that was long. We had a terrible loss this month with Coach Tanksley. I don't know if you ever had a chance to meet with him, but he was an exceptional man. The Springfield Local School District and Spartan football team suddenly lost head football coach John Tanksley on Sunday, June 11th. Coach Tanksley was entering his third season as Springfield head football coach. Coach Tanksley's dedication to building relationships and positively impacting the lives of his players, students, coaches, community, and school personnel speaks volumes about his character and passion for his work. The impact he made over his 30-year career is a testament to his commitment to education and coaching. To remember and honor Coach Tanksley's legacy, the team will be wearing a commemorative sticker this season on the back of their helmet. We'll be also honoring Coach with a moment of silence prior to the kickoff of the season opener on Friday, August 18th versus Akron Garfield. Coach Tanksley will be dearly missed by many. And if you ever had a chance to meet the man, he truly gave his all for our kids here in Springfield. So for the next football season, his son Corey, with the help of Kevin Vaughn, will be taking over the team. The day that his dad passed, Corey had a football practice to talk to the team, and he had said that his dad would kill him if he canceled. So he was there, and he's really taking it on, and I think he's going to carry on his dad's legacy. So Coach Tanksley is definitely going to be somebody who's going to be missed. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think I'm done. Okay.
Give me a minute. Board members informal. The only thing I would like to say, I'm pleased to see this many of our Springfield people here tonight. I wish we had this kind of a turnout more often, but welcome and thank you for coming. Kenny, do you want to add anything?
The only thing I want to congratulate all the people who retired.
Yeah.
And I don't think they realize how much they'll be missed because they touched so many people in this community. The kids never forget about them, and they will be truly missed. And I hope they have a good retirement.
Good point. John?
To add to that, that was 247 years that retired, if my math is correct, that retired into retirement land, which I'm going to gear up for in another 22 months. Columbus, Ohio, the budget process is the House voted a week ago not to concur with the Senate's version of the biannual budget. So now it goes to the chair of the House, the vice chair of the House, and the ranking member of the House, and to the ranking member, chair of the Senate, vice chair of the Senate, and ranking member of the Senate. So these, for House Bill 33, there is a lot of things in there that will affect public education. Vouchers is one of them. That's a hot button topic. Funding of the Cup-Patterson, full funding of that is also on the table. So these representatives, Representative Jay Edwards, Representative Jeff LaRue, Representative Bride Rose Sweeney from the House side, and from the Ohio Senate, Senator Matt Dolan, Senator Jerry Serino, and Senator Vernon Sykes, who is a representative of our district. Please reach out to these people. Let them know what you feel on the Senate, on the biannual budget. There are some things that are very important to public education, and they need your attention. Thanks
Thank you.
to Chad and them, and Andrew and Vicky, thank you again. Before you know it, we'll be in school.
Larry?
Congratulations to all those who were recognized tonight, first of all. Next, I know that there's a lot of misinformation that goes around out there, and I just want to straighten one thing out. We're not going to be able to offer CEUs for your ippy dippies tonight. Sorry. I've always been a jokester. I apologize.
I'd just like to take a minute to also say something about Coach Tanksley. My son got to be coached by him just for 2 years. My husband got to coach with him. Outstanding man. There's probably only a couple people on our coaching staff, and this is no dig to anybody, that show up to as many things as he would. Baseball games, softball games, basketball games, band. He made his players understand that it wasn't just about him and about them, but you be there and you support the ones that are supporting you. Support the band, support the cheerleaders. That's big. I know that some of you know that he was all about grades. You're going to play, that's fine, you're going to get the grades, and he had the study tables, and he made sure his players were at the study tables. I know some of you were at his memorial and stuff, and it was very, very well done. Corey is going to be a great coach, and I think the kids are going to follow him. Just a great guy. The dugouts, sadly he left. Personally, I would love to challenge the community leadership to step up and help make our facilities better with a little bit of their help. We don't have a lot of money to do things like that. If the community can do a path, maybe they can help with dugouts and making our fields a little bit better too. So hopefully we can get that out there and help them challenge. But that's what I have.
Thank you. At this time, excuse me, it is recommended that the board approve the minutes of the work session and regular meetings of May 16, the special and public hearing meetings of June 5, and the work session of June 8, 2023. And these were attached to the minutes tonight.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Mr. Adams?
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes. Motion passed. At this time is citizens' comments on agenda items. Citizens' comments on agenda items are welcome at this time, and participants are asked to observe a 5-minute duration in their individual comments. And would anyone? Okay.
My name's Susan Elliott, 3686 Honda Road, Milford, Ohio. I am a teacher at Schwab. I teach 6th grade social studies and science, and I have been teaching in Springfield 28 years. Over those years, I regularly spend my own money buying materials to support my students. I have often spent $500 or more in 1 year on materials, website access, and fans to improve the safety and education of my students. I'm not alone in this. Most of my colleagues also spend their own money buying items to support their students. It is not uncommon in this district for a teacher to write an entire curriculum on their own and purchase all of their own materials. I went into teaching because because I love working with my family and students. Sorry. I still love what I do. However, when an employee goes from year to year spending their own money and either getting no raises or inadequate raises, it takes a toll. However, no teacher expects to get rich. No teacher expects to even earn what they are worth. However, we do want to feel appreciated. It is time that this district figure out how to compensate teachers adequately, even when money is tight. Compensation can come in different forms. We just need to work together to figure this out. Thank you.
My name is Cindy Borzinski. I live at 2975 Carlton Street Northwest. I have been teaching in Springfield for 32 years. Springfield is near and dear to my heart. My family moved here when I was in 3rd grade. Mr. Benzo, the principal at Young Elementary, walked a scared little girl down to her new classroom. I will never forget that. That was my first experience with the caring educators in Springfield. These teachers are the reason that I became a teacher. I've also learned from some of the finest as I have worked with them as a colleague or as their staff. Dr. Robert Jackson, Roger Plaster, Danny Dutton, Betty Cooper, Bernita Fries, and so many others. We have such a great legacy here in Springfield, and we need to do whatever it takes to continue this. Over the years, we have lost so many talented, kind, and experienced teachers, either to reductions in force or to other districts offering higher salaries and better working conditions. Robert Lane, Amber Worsler, Ashley Pools, and Kate McFeasters have all left our district. Doug Jones, Ryan Warner, Tim Cole, Jess Casher were on the RIF list and now work in other districts. Newer teachers do not see Springfield as a place to begin and to spend their careers. Each spring, the talk in the teacher's workroom is who is leaving, or who is being ripped, or where will I be placed next year. During the reductions in force, teachers have been shuffled around, causing traumatic disruption in a teacher's career. Veteran teachers have been involuntarily transferred after years in the same grade or subject. Currently, we have teachers moving back to Spring Hill after just being moved to Schropp 2 years ago. They're spending much of their time this summer moving and preparing for a new classroom. All of this movement of teachers disrupts where the teachers are able to use their time and energy most effectively. During these tough financial times, the teachers voluntarily gave back a negotiated raise and have accepted no raises for several years. But Springfield teachers have rolled with the punches, as difficult as it has been. Springfield educators daily do whatever it takes to provide a quality education to our students. Sub shortages, broken or unreliable copy machines, bus delays, behavior issues, tech issues, high heat and humidity, old buildings, lack of resources. Springfield educators still get the job done. They are truly heroes for everything that they do and will continue to do.
We must find a way as a district to attract and to retain excellent teachers, to continue that legacy that I spoke of at the beginning. What makes a district attractive to teachers? Good salaries, a supportive board and administration, safe working conditions, and teacher voice. Thank you.
I'm Bo Grubbs. I live at 1930 Crystal Drive. I'm alumni. You were my principal when I graduated. I'm a teacher. I also have 2 daughters in the district. Also a coach. Coached at the high school level, junior high level, and with youth sports. My goal, SLAC and the board, we need to come together and work together on a fair contract. When I graduated, doesn't seem too long ago, but it was, we had 230 teachers when I graduated, roughly around that, 230. When I got hired in at 2010, we were at 160. We sit here with 117, roughly, give or take. That's a crazy difference to me. I was told 10 junior high teachers, is that accurate? 9 to 10 that we have right now. I remember going to Spring Hill and that whole building was filled. To me, the first thing that pops up in my head is lack of opportunities. Our kids are missing that. Our teachers are doing more now than ever before. Subs, I mean, there's a shortage. We're taking on more responsibilities. There's no break. Increased behaviors. We are dealing with more behavior now than ever before. My daughter told me a story about subbing. Sorry, I got my mouth dry. My daughter told me a story about subbing, how her teacher didn't really want to take on the sub job, but did it for the kids. The impact this has on students is mind-blowing. In 2010, we had 2,400 students. Right now, we sit at 1,800. Why? Has there ever been a survey to figure out why people are leaving? When I talked to people in my neighborhood about the levy, they said, why would we vote yes for the levy when we have to send our kids elsewhere? Every kid that leaves, I feel like, is a no vote. It's tough, but tough people, tough times don't last forever. Tough people do. I really hope the board and SLAC can work together to provide a fair contract where we all win and we can move forward. That's it. Thank you so much.
Are there any other citizens' comments? Thank you for your citizens' comments. And if there are no others, then we will move on to the next item. But again, thank you for contributing to our meeting. The next item on the agenda is payment of bills. It is recommended that the board approve the payment of bills for the month of May pending audit.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Moved in second that the motion be accepted and voted on. Mr. Adams?
Mrs. Rowland,
Yes.
Petrie,
Yes.
Ms. Terry,
Yes.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Hooper.
Yes.
Motion passed. Number 10, acceptance of financial reports. It is recommended that the board accept the financial reports from the treasurer for May 2023. And those would be exhibits 3, 4, and 5 on the exhibits attachment. Do you want to say anything, or? Okay.
Well, this time of year, you always have what I call year-end reports. And Mr. Hooper made a good point. We had some large budget adjustments, and it was because of ESSER. We had events. When you have events that occur mid-year that you didn't know about, we had some for PI monies that we got transferred in. You have to, by law, appropriate it. Doesn't mean you spend it. It's just changing the appropriation. Our spend is what we planned on a year ago. Our year-end actuals are going to come in as projected. There wasn't any big surprises, but there are rules that you have to follow that sometimes people go, well, why do you have to do that? It's just the way it is. You have to do it. So if you look at something, if anybody sees anything in the employee, give me a moment. I mean, it's always best to talk to me, and I can try to make a confusing subject a little easier. I'm going to talk about that in my presentation tonight, so thank you.
Motion. Was there a motion?
Yeah.
I mean, was,
I'll make a motion.
okay. Second?
Ms. Terry? Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Rowland?
Yes.
Speaker?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. The item number 11, personnel, it is recommended that the board accept and approve the following personnel items. A resignation of bus driver Teresa Watkins, effective the 2023-24 school year. 11.2, resignations of certified employee Ashley Pools, effective 2023 school year. Number 11.3, resignation, accept the resignation of certified employee Shiloh Urhez, effective the 2023 school year. Approve a one-year unpaid leave of absence for classified employee Grace Kennedy, beginning January 17, 2023. 11.5, revision of resolution number 23-079.8, transportation supervisor. It is recommended that the board approve revising this resolution to include a 2-year contract for Melinda Hamilton as transportation supervisor. When we voted on that, the length of the contract was inadvertently left out of the original motion. 11.6, employment. Employee Evelina Stevens, as both a classified substitute effective first day assigned and a standby driver per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure effective June 7, 2023. Employment. 11.7, employ Sonia Cunningham as a 100% teacher per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure effective for the 23-24 school year. 11.8, employment. Employee Rebecca Dolwick as a 100% teacher per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure effective 2023. 11.9, ESY teacher, employ Leona Cable Baldinger to work extended school year summer 2023, depending sufficient student enrollment at an hourly rate of $28.25 up to a maximum of 8 hours. 11.10, approve the listed athletic supplemental contracts for the 23-24 school year per the negotiated agreement pending proper licensure. 11.11, volunteer coaches. Approve the following as volunteer coaches for the 2023 pending proper licensure. Can you read those or no? Okay. And 11.12, the non-sports supplemental contracts. There is a list of non-sport supplemental contracts for the 23-24 school year with pay per the negotiated agreement, pending proper licensure. And because of length, we're not, and it's on the exhibit, we're not reading all the names, but it is available again in the exhibit. 11.13, extended time. Approving the following, or approving extended time for the 23-24 school year, covering band director and counselors. 11.14, the district leadership team. Approve the list of the district leadership team, which is established per the negotiated agreement. 11.15, there's a building there are building leadership teams for each of the buildings, and they are listed as exhibits on your agenda. Approve the teachers listed there for the following, for the building leadership teams, for the BLTs per the negotiated agreement. 11.16, resident educator mentor teachers. Approve the teachers listed on the agenda to serve as resident educator mentors and facilitators for the 23-24 school year, pending proper licensure and completion of the required training to be such as on an as-needed basis.
So moves.
Second.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Yes, and we got a second too.
Okay.
So just a couple things on there. We're glad to welcome Sonia Cunningham and Rebecca Dolwick as intervention specialists. Previously, Sonia was a literacy tutor and Rebecca was an intervention specialist tutor, and both of them are going to become intervention specialist teachers. And this is based on numbers. We've had quite a few move-ins that are coming in this year of students that have special needs, so to make sure that everybody is, that we're following the law on that. The resident educator mentor teachers. The resident educator mentor teachers work with any of our new teachers who have less than 2 years of experience. 4 years if they're grandfathered in prior to the new law. And we have quite a few new teachers coming in that are going to need mentor teachers. So thank you to other teachers who stepped up to do that. They have to be trained in doing that, and it is a year-long position, and they work really well with our newer staff. Okay, that's all I have for that.
Question. Sonia and Rebecca were employees, and then they transferred over into the
Yeah,
teaching side?
they were tutors.
Okay.
And because of the rifts, and Rebecca Dolick was an intervention tutor, and Sonia Cunningham was a literacy tutor. And because of working with SLAC, they've turned into, not turned into, they've always been teachers. They became full-time teachers.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Adams?
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mrs. Corolla?
Yes.
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Motion passed. Number 12, employment. It is recommended that the board employ Christopher Adams as the treasurer with a 2-year contract pending proper licensure effective July 1, 2023. And that contract is available for in the exhibits. Just like to add that Mr. Adams is, this is what is known as a rehire contract. Mr. Adams will be working an additional 25% over, he's going to work 75%. Sorry, my hearing aids, I can't turn it off. He's going to be working 75% for the same salary that he was being granted, or when he was 50%.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and second. Mr., any comments, questions?
The only comment I have is we just came through state audit. They gave us a clean report. So that's worthy of noting. So thank you for your hard work.
I'll say something quick. Earlier this month, we had a meeting so that anybody could ask questions about this. Nobody showed up. Actually, someone did. One person did. Linda. I voted no on Chris's contract a few years ago. A couple years ago? I don't know. I have been not Chris's biggest fan. He knows it. We sit right next to each other. Makes it awkward. You guys have all been there.
Not for me, like a sister.
Whatever. Chris has proven to me, and quite a few people that have spoken up against him, that he hasn't done anything wrong. I am not the checkbook keeper at my house. I am a great debit swiper. I can spend as much money at Target and you wouldn't even know it. To say that a budget is easy, I wouldn't even want to do his job. Many have said why. I don't understand always the hire, rehire, retire thing. It confuses me. But he's leaving 1 year earlier with this.
A 2-year contract
Right.
versus a 3-year, correct?
And as Dave did say, that his audits all come back. Before I came on the board, I would challenge the board all the time. Show me where the money is going. What is he doing? Not that he was actually spending it, but I wanted to know. And he was pretty honest with me, and he couldn't lie to me. So I challenge anybody that sits there and says he's not doing his job to walk into the board office or this office and ask him. I promise you, he will do it. He has proven me wrong, and I will say it. I'm very good at it. I can be wrong all the time. But I say, if you have a problem, show up and ask the question. Anybody can. If Brooklyn wants to come and ask questions as a student, she can come ask questions. Any of you can. So, if you don't agree with it, that's fine, but he's proven himself to me, which is hard.
Thank you, Miranda.
This.
Do we call the vote?
Yep.
Chris Terry?
No, yes.
Oh, gosh.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Mrs. Froll?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
I'll say something real quick. There's always social media, and I sense Ms. Terry's got on board. I have sons that are her age, and finally they're saying, Dad, you gotta get on this thing. There's just so much stuff going on. It's just new world order, as they call it. It's okay. I like some of it, and I don't like some of it. But my dad, who I lost a couple years ago, was a principal. And when he started in 1960 as a principal, his treasurer was the lowest paid position. That's the way it was. And so when I got the job about 21 years ago, he was amazed. And he said something that stuck with me. He said, and I agree with him to this day, that money drives education now. It wasn't that way. It makes it where my job is too important, if you know what I mean, too important. And I love the profession. I told my 4 sons, marry a teacher. 2 of them listened. 1 didn't, 1's not married, so hopefully. But I thank the board for this opportunity. I'm getting to the point in my career that it was time to step back and focus on one district. And that's what I did.
Thank you. Number 13, service agreement, Cross Thread Solutions Limited Corporation. It is recommended that the board approve a service agreement with Cross Thread Solutions LLC to provide interpreting services from July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
This service agreement is for our interpreting services that we use for multiple languages of families that live in our district. It can include ASL if we needed it as well, but we primarily use it to meet the needs of community parents that don't speak English. Or if we need something, a document interpreted, then we can use that as well.
Okay, Mr. Adams?
Mr. Petrie.
Yes.
Mrs. Frola.
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes?
Mr. Ray.
Yes.
Ms. Terry.
Motion passed. Number 14, it is recommended that the board approve a resolution notifying the Ohio Department of Education of its intent to not offer career technical education for students enrolled in grades 7 and 8 during the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Second.
This is something that the state requests schools to do, and ours, if we do not offer CTE courses in our middle school, and as of this time, we do not offer any classes that would fit under this title. Hopefully, once we can get a levy passed, we'll be able to offer classes that we would be able to get CTE classes, so we would be able to offer them for our 7th and 8th graders.
I would echo that sentiment. That is my career path. I didn't have those opportunities, but hopefully the residents would understand and realize not having those opportunities in 7th and 8th grade puts our kids at a disadvantage to compete in a world market. I compete in a world market. I've seen it. This is a tough one to take, like all the other things that we've cut in this district because of lack of funds. This one hurts, as all the other ones do.
Any other comments? Mr. Adams?
Mr. Hofer.
Unfortunately, yes.
Mr. Ray.
Yes.
Ms. Terry.
Yes.
Mrs. Frola.
Yes.
Mr. Petrie.
Yes.
It's something that I hope will turn around faster than we realize it can, so I think they're really needed. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I am.
Well, you said, so you're fine.
All right, number 15, resolution. It is recommended that the board approve a resolution declaring it necessary to submit the question of an additional tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation to the electors of the Springfield Local School District pursuant to sections 5705.194 to 5705.197 of the revised code. And again, that is attached as an exhibit to your agenda.
I'll make a motion, but I think you need to let people know we're not asking for 10 mils.
Yeah, I was going to ask once we got.
We'll let Chris do that, because when people see that, the first
Same
thing.
price,
Yeah.
most inexpensive levy in probably state of Ohio right now. It's so badly needed. It's needed for the kids, it's needed for the employees, it's needed for the community. It's just needed.
Is there a second?
I thought Miranda seconded.
We did it together. so-
Okay. All right, Mr. Adams?
My computer needs updated. Ms. Terry. Mr. Ray.
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes.
Mrs. Frola.
Yes.
Mr. Petrie.
Yes.
Motion passed. Number 16 is recommended that the board approve the amended appropriations for fiscal year 2023 And these are shown in Exhibit 9. And Mr. Adam, yeah, Exhibit 9. Mr. Ed, we need a,
I'll second that.
okay.
As I talked earlier, this is just it's necessary for the auditors, it's necessary for the Summer County Budget Commission. It does not mean we're spending any more money than we were spending before. It just aligns things. Things happen. PI money's not going to be used. We have the demo to Roosevelt. We have all kinds of things that are happening. And although we'll probably spend the money before we get it back from the land bank, it's a great deal for the community. It's a great deal for the people that live over there in that area too. So
And the Roosevelt demo was grant funded,
it is.
75%.
75%.
Yes. Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes.
Mr. Petrie?
Yes.
Motion passed. Number 17, it is recommended that the board approve the temporary appropriations resolution for fiscal year 2024 as it appears in Exhibit 10.
So moved.
Second.
This is, like I said, it's just a temporary. What I typically do is I take 25% of last year's actual expenditures up to a certain point. But then from now and for the next couple of months, I go through each line and develop the permanent appropriations. So that's a whole different process. I get input from fellow administrators, what's needed, input from the building principals on what programs. It's difficult because we don't have the resources I would like to have to be able to earmark funds towards programs.
Any questions? Mr. Adams?
Mr. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Frola?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Motion passed. Number 18, it is recommended that the board approve a service agreement with Educational Alternatives to provide educational services to students on an as-needed basis for the 23-24 school year, as shown in Exhibit 11.
Second.
This is just our agreement with Educational Alternatives that we use for placement for some of our students when need be.
Hopefully someday, when we have funding, we can look at some alternatives and bring some of those things back in-house. That would be a nice thing to
Yes,
do.
it would be.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Motion passed. Number 19 is administrative benefit and salary agreement. It is recommended that the board approve a resolution to modify the administrative benefit and salary agreement to add the position of associate principal effective July 1, 2023. And this change is, or the agreement is Exhibit 12.
So moved.
I'll second.
This is just to update the administrative contract is just one contract. It has all the positions labeled in it, so this is just to update that contract.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mrs. Frola?
Yes.
Ms. Terry?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Petrie?
Yes.
Motion passed. Excuse me. Next, it is recommended that the board approve a resolution to accept the request from Dorr and Associates Incorporated to withdraw their bid for the abatement of Roosevelt Elementary.
So
Make a
moved. Okay, second.
I'll talk about the next three resolutions briefly here. This first one is to accept the withdrawal from Dorr and Associates. In this, we advertised the project publicly, accepted sealed bids from contractors. Those bids were opened June 6th, I believe. And then we went through a review process with Gandy and Associates on our behalf, and also interviews with the contractors, starting with the lowest bidder. In our interview with Dorr and Associates, there were some items that were inadvertently left out of their calculations for what they did for the project. So based on those items, they requested to withdraw their bid there, and we would recommend to accept it. And then we completed interviews with Precision Environmental and Ray Berloni Trucking Company to do the abatement and demolition of the building respectively. There, those interviews were successful in checking references and so on, and everything looks to be in order with those bids. So these will recommend that we accept those bids and award the contracts for that project, which will begin mid-July and should wrap up at the end of October. Awesome. I've only been waiting for this for 12 years.
And we'll be sending out a letter to the community members around Roosevelt to let them know and keep them updated on what's happening, to keep them in the loop.
Me
Ms.
either.
Terry?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mrs. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. And, excuse me, it is recommended that the board approve a resolution awarding and approving bids and a contract for the abatement of Roosevelt Elementary to Precision Environmental Company. And that is Exhibit 14 on your agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. Rowland?
Yes.
Ms. Terry?
Mr. Boswell, anything before we move on? All right, it is number 22. It is recommended that the board approve a resolution awarding and approving bids and a contract for the demolition of Roosevelt Elementary to Ray Bertolini Trucking Company, and that is Exhibit 15.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Rowland?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. Terry?
Motion passed. Number 23 covers overnight extended trips. 23.1, high school cheer. It is recommended that the board approve an overnight extended trip for the high school cheer team and chaperones to travel to Great Wolf Lodge to attend the UCA cheer camp from July 10, 2023 through July 13, 2023. All expenses for this will be paid through fundraising and by the participants. And there's an attachment with the for the trip to Great Wolf. Number 23.2, marching band. It is recommended that the board approve an overnight extended trip for the Springfield Marching Band and chaperones to travel to Camp Muskingum for band camp from July 30th, 2023 through August 5, 2023. And again, all expenses will be paid through fundraising and the participants. And the attachment for this trip plan is in the agenda.
So move. Have fun.
I think they're going to.
Mrs. Rowland?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Ms. Terry? Mr. Hofer?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passed. 24, donations. 24.1, Prom and after prom donations. Accept the following donations collected by the parents of Springfield local schools for the 23 prom and after prom activities. Even though we haven't read some of the items, I think this needs recognition. Nicholas Fence Company donated $100. Buckeye Well Drilling, 100. Zahner Service Center donated 100. Soak City donated 250. Ken's Auto Service Center donated 250. And the Springfield Tavern donated 150. And I'm sure the class of 2023 was very pleased with that. 24.2 GAR grant. Accept a GAR grant of $10,000 to fund teacher Matt Graves' project, Let VR be our teaching tool, having students get a true historical reality check.
So moved.
24.3, upgrade to baseball field. Number 7, accept the donations listed below to upgrade and repair field number 7 located behind the administration building. And Mr. Lance has already read those names, so do we have a motion to accept
So
those?
moved.
I'll second.
A couple things. First, prom was very much fun. I didn't get a chance to go to after prom, but I heard the bull was wild, so that was exciting. Is Matt here today? No. So Matt wrote a GAR grant for $10,000 to bring VR into his classrooms, and he is going to be training, I do believe, with some some professors from Kent on how to bring that into the classrooms. So this was really exciting that GAR gave them $10,000. A lot of times they don't fund the whole grant, and he did get funded, so that was congratulations on Matt for that. And then of course the baseball field, which is great. And to your point, Miranda, it'd be nice if we could get the community involved to do a lot more of the upgrades and type things.
Mr. Petrie,
Yes?
Mrs. Rowland,
Yes.
Ms. Terry,
Yes.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Oakley.
Yes.
Motion passed. Treasurer's report.
I keep this short and sweet.
Year-end updates. Right now, we're going through our year-end closing, which is a monster. It always is. It's going smoothly, no surprises. That's the good thing for a treasurer. No major things that are different than projected. The thing I want to talk about the most is the finance committee. And that's something that I should have done a long time ago. I got a little boost from one of my board members to get it going, which I heard quite clearly, and I got it going. And it's been a success, but we need more people. We need teachers. We need teachers to come. What's nice about this meeting is it's very open. I get tough questions, which I want tough questions. I want to know what people are thinking. So if it's true, then you just have to say it is what it is. But if it's not true, then we can talk about it. Because everything we do in the Treasurer's office is being overseen by the state auditor, and now we have our fiscal auditing team. So everything we do, it's check, control check, and not fun, but it's our community right now. We're hoping to change that. So the next meeting is July 17th at 5:30 here. I know it's hard in the summer. We're going to keep these things going. They typically are quarterly. We're going to keep them monthly when we can, and we need people to come. We need input from all employees, our classified, our certified, our people that volunteer. I mean, you guys, you have a vested interest. We don't get a levy passed. It's every year. It's just going through, I don't want to go through this every year, you know, it's a very difficult process, so. If you can make it, if you can't make it, and want to be involved, shoot me questions. What I do is I put together a booklet for the people that came, and then I just update it. But when someone new comes, I always have new booklets with all the, you don't have to bring anything, maybe a pen. So, thanks for everything, guys.
When's the next meeting?
July 17th, 5:30, Monday, July 17th.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Central Office?
Just brief remarks tonight. I'd like to mention that I took a tour of all the buildings yesterday to see how things are going and thank our maintenance and custodial staff for doing an excellent job getting the buildings ready for school next year. As I heard the comment earlier, school will be ready to be starting before we know it there. So they are working tirelessly to get all the rooms cleaned and waxed and ready for teachers and students to be back soon. So, pass along my thanks for them.
For me, we are in our last week of extended school year, so our kids that have been coming this summer have had a great time, and I'm very thankful for the teachers and the teaching assistants that have made it fun for themselves and fun for the kids, so that the kids are making progress and not losing some of that gap that they may have lost if they hadn't come. So we're in our last week, and it's been a great week, and attendance has been good. So thank you to the teachers that have been participating and the assistants that have been coming every day as well.
And then do we have another ESY?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right, awesome.
Do you have anything else?
No, I've said right now, I'm done. I'm good.
All right, items worthy of your note. The next regular Board of Education meeting will be July 18 at 6 p.m. here in the Administration Preschool Center. And at this time, if there are any citizens' comments, we welcome them and ask you to observe the 5-minute of speaking. You want to go home? All right. Seeing none, then it is recommended that the board go into executive session at this time to discuss preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with employees, or matters required to be kept confidential by federal law or rules of state statutes. And there will be no action following the executive session. And again, I thank you for being here, sincerely.
And
it was good to see.
I'm gonna tell you, it was
so
really nice
many
to have the big claps for our student of the month. That was,
Yeah.
usually it's just us up here clapping, you know, kind of open holler. That was really nice for them to hear.
Thank you.
I gotta go around. Oh, we got a motion.
Second. Motion and second over here. Miranda, Larry.
Yes.